6:30.
Okay.
Chris. Good evening and welcome to the Monday, October 22nd, Bella Vista Regular City Council meeting. If you'd please rise and join us with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do the roll call of council. Councilmember Lloyd.
Here.
Flynn.
Here.
Anderson.
Here.
Wozniak.
Here.
Fowler.
Here.
All present.
Thank you. The next is citizen input. No one signed the sheet, so we'll move on. The next is the approval of the September 24th minutes of City Council. Are there any errors or omissions? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
So move. Second.
Thank you.
Okay. Roll call vote. Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Flynn.
Yes.
Lloyd.
Yes.
Fowler.
Yes.
Wozniak.
Yes.
Carried.
Thank you. The next order of business is the monthly financial report for August of 2018. I apologize to those of you in the audience. We forgot to make copies. However, if you'd share your email address with either myself or the city clerk, we'd be more than happy to send a copy to you. For council's edification, I just draw your attention to statement of revenues for 8 months. Councilmember Fowler, you had asked that the city sales tax and the county sales tax be split apart, and we have done so.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Are there any questions at all? All right, thank you. I'd entertain a motion to suspend the rules and read all proposed ordinances and resolution on the agenda by title only.
So moved.
Second.
All right. Councilmember Wozniak.
Yes.
Fowler.
Yes.
Lloyd.
Yes.
Flynn.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Carried 5-0.
Thank you. The first order of business is an ordinance regarding Memorial Drive, and we'll move straight into open public hearing. Is there anybody who would like to address the council about this ordinance? Seeing none, I'll close the public meeting. This is an ordinance granting the petition of Cooper Realty Investments, Inc. to vacate a portion of Memorial Drive and for other purposes. This is the first reading. Is there any discussion?
So,
Doug?
no, I was going to say, does anybody else have anything to say?
I did. Is there any thought about moving this along to third
Yes,
reading?
I'll be asking for third and final.
Oh,
Thank
okay.
you. Anything, sir?
Yeah, so from the first moment actually that I saw this this ordinance's proposal to expand Harps and do some work on the shopping center at Town Center, I probably had different initial thoughts than some people did. Whenever I was voted into this seat, you have a lot of homework to do, around town to kind of figure out what's going on. And as we all know, it's kind of complicated. We have the city, we have the POA, we have the ACC, and we also have Cooper Communities. And a lot of times Cooper Communities is kind of left out of that conversation. I've actually met, pretty much I think everyone that, I was going to say like an officer of Cooper, and they're all really good people. And I appreciate that, and they were all, very good to me when I went down and had conversations with them. But on this particular ordinance, the first two things. First of all, I have to think about what does this mean to the residents of Bella Vista. And I think from a city sales tax perspective, I think it's great that this town center is going to be upgraded. It's sorely needed. It's only part of town center. It's going to be the Harps expansion, and then the perpendicular offices, to the left as you drive in the parking lot. They're going to be, from what I understand, refreshed as well. It's actually two different projects. They're not going to be done at the same time. The harps, I guess, will be done first, and then the other part of it will be done later, but the rest of the town center will not be touched. In my perspective, again, I don't think it's a bad thing. Think it's a good thing. Anytime we do something like that, it's welcome. I will say, though, I do think from a city sales tax perspective, it probably won't mean a whole lot to us. Yes, Harps will probably do more business than it does now, but it'll probably source a lot of that business from Allen's. And then it might marginally impact people that shop Walmart up across the state line in Missouri. So it's going to be kind of like shifting revenue a little bit, if you will. Yes, it could drive some extra revenue, but not a whole lot. Secondarily, I asked myself, and I'll explain why in just a second. The first things I thought was, what would Cooper do? If someone else owned the property where the Harps is, on the left-hand side, and they own the parking lot on the other side of the road, and then Cooper actually owned the road, and that entity, whoever it may be, if they came to Cooper and asked them to vacate the right-of-way so that you could bring the property lines together so that entity could expand Harps or maybe develop or do something else, would Cooper allow them to do that? You know, would they say yes? Would they just say no? Would they charge them to do it? You know, and probably charge them a nice price. I don't know what they would do. I do know, though, that we have really struggled in Bella Vista with Cooper developing some of their commercial properties that they have in their portfolio. And one of the things that people ask me, I'm not going to tell you it's every day, but it's relatively often, is when's Cooper going to do something? When's Cooper going to do something? When's Cooper going to do something? So I hear it often. And yes, they are doing something. And again, I appreciate it. I'm not trying to cut my nose off to spite my face. I'm not saying I'm going to vote no on this. I will probably vote yes. But it was an opportunity to make a statement. One of the things that I've done, just so you will know, a couple days ago, what I did is I looked at Bella Vista and our population. And I pulled the populations that were the closest to representation of Bella Vista in the state of Arkansas. We, as of the last census, had 26,461 people. So what I did is I looked at the 5 towns that had just marginally greater population than us. I'm talking about right straight in line, and then the 5 below. Bella Vista collected sales and use tax during 2017 of $1.994 million. Let's just say $2 million. Okay? The next closest city to Bella Vista was Texarkana, which we know that town is split. I think it's kind of a goofy number. They collected $2.8 million, which is $900,000 more than us. The next closest city was Van Buren, which is actually the 5th city down from Bella Vista, and they collected $3.9 million. So that's $2 million above and beyond Bella Vista. And then everyone else, all the way up to as much as $8.4 million, $6.4 million. My point being, I know that we're not going to be a lot of other cities. We were developed and we were built differently. But we do have opportunity here to develop some commercial properties. And a lot of people talk about restaurants. And restaurants are all well and good. That's what I hear the most of. But we need a lot of things out here. We have 30,000 people now, are very close to it. And we're going to find out here in a year or two just exactly what we do have. But we have to go south to Bentonville for everything. I pulled Bentonville's sales tax revenue. And so just FYI, what I did is these cities have different rates of sales tax in their cities, anywhere from 2.5 to 1.5. One city actually had 0.75. That was Paragould, which is unusual. We're at 1% is what we are at. So 2.5 to 1.5% generally, we're at 1. So what I did is I equalized that 1% for all these cities. So the numbers I just gave you, those were the sales tax revenue that they would have generated at 1%, not their current sales tax rate. So I adjusted for that, okay? So everybody in Bella Vista has to go south. I'm just picking on Bentonville because it's the first city. They generated $31,800,000 in sales tax revenue last year. They have a 2% sales tax rate. If I take that to 1%, that's $15.9 million. That's 8 times the sales tax revenue of Bella Vista. Are we ever going to be Bentonville? No, we're not. I understand that. But once again, we have room. And not only that, when we go down to Bentonville, when we spend our money down there, we have the pleasure of spending 1% more than what we would spend in Bella Vista. Okay? So I just wanted to just put that out there like this food for thought, because I don't think the conversation happens a lot. And one thing that I think a lot of people don't understand fully, and I talked to a lot of people in Bella Vista, is kind of how everything works here. You know, John Cooper, the original John Cooper, when he set the properties up, and then his son John, of course, is John Cooper III now, whenever they laid out all the plats, you know, they put like a 7.5-foot easement on all 4 sides of every single property in Bella Vista. So what that really means to us is they have total control, right? And I said that these are really good people, and all I'm saying is I just want to take an opportunity myself to say, Cooper Communities, could you come to the Bella Vista City and partner and work with us, and let's develop some of these other properties. And again, not just restaurants, it's a lot of different things. I tell people the most simple thing, I can't even get my car washed up here. You know, don't like to do my own car. So all I wanted to do is say that, again, I'm not going to vote no for this, but it was an opportunity to speak about it a little bit, maybe educate some people on some opportunities that we have and the growth that we could have with our sales tax. Going 26,000 to 30,000 people, that means we need more police, we need more firemen, we need another fire station number 3, we need a police department badly. You know, we manage the money that we do have very well. I think the mayor and his staff does a fantastic job, but we definitely need the revenue to further develop Bella Vista and make it a better place for our residents. And really, at the end of the day, Cooper Communities could be the hero, and I wish they would be. So that's all I had to say.
Okay, thank you. Just to further emphasize, there's a report that we get, it's called ESRI, and it actually looks at all the swipes done by credit cards, you know, the little magnetic strip at the back. It actually has your zip code on there. And every year, we lose $38 million worth of revenue of people going to eat somewhere else other than here. So just additional food for thought. Anybody else with a comment? No? Okay. I'd entertain a motion to suspend the rules and move to third and final reading.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Councilmember Lloyd,
Yes.
Flynn,
Yes.
Wozniak,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Fowler,
Yes.
carried 5-0.
Thank you. Third and final reading, granting the petition of Cooper Realty Investments, Inc. to vacate a portion of Memorial Drive and for other purposes. That was the third and final reading. Is there any other discussion? All right. A motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
Okay. Councilmember Fowler,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Lloyd,
Yes.
Flynn,
Yes.
Wozniak,
Yes.
carried 5-0.
Thank you. Moving on to the next piece of business, which is a resolution approving amounts of liens to be certified to the Benton County Tax Collector against certain real property as a result of grass cutting expenses and abatement of other nuisances by the city of Bella Vista. This is something that we do every fall. For those of you who are not familiar with this, unfortunately, we have some people inside our city who neglect to take care of their lawns. Sometimes the house actually is abandoned or is sitting there empty for whatever reason. Because of our ordinance, we do not allow grass to grow so far, so we call in outside companies and have them come in to actually clean them up. And if you have not reimbursed us by this time of the year, then we petition the county to put a tax lien on your property. So that's what this is all about. In your package, there are 7.
Mayor, you need to open a public hearing on this.
Right. And so we'll immediately go to open hearing. Is there anyone who wishes to address this? Seeing none, I'll close. So I'll read it again. It's a resolution approving amounts of liens to be certified to the Benton County Tax Collector against certain real property as a result of grass cutting expenses and abatement of other nuisances by the City of Bella Vista. Discussion. Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All right. Councilmember Anderson,
Yes.
Fowler,
Yes.
Wozniak,
Yes.
Lloyd,
Yes.
Flynn,
Yes.
carried 5-0.
Thank you. The next is a resolution authorizing the mayor and the city clerk to enter into amendment number 6 to the contract for animal services with the Bella Vista Animal Shelter. I met today with 2 representatives of the shelter, and we discussed their annual contract with us, and they have asked for a little bit more money, which I think is quite reasonable. I would like your permission to table this until the November meeting so that we can bake the amount into the 2019 proposal. Their proposal is an increase of $500 a month and $10 more per dog, $10 more per cat. Is there any discussion at all?
Peter,
Yes.
I had a question. What was, I know part of it is variable and part of it is fixed, but just roughly, what is the total looking like for 2018?
We're actually underrunning. As of the end of last month, we had spent $45,000. The total budget for the upcoming year is $82,800. I don't think that we'll hit it. But on the other side of the coin, the animal shelter has been very aggressive in their fundraising this year. The annual weenie dog races actually raised more money they had anticipated because a company did a one-for-one match. So they raised something like $30,000, which was great. So, but thanks for the question. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
I'd just like to say that the animal shelter does an amazing job, and the city would be really in dire straits should the animal shelter not continue as they are currently.
I agree. Anything else? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to table this resolution until the November 2018 regular meeting.
So moved. Second.
All right. Councilmember Fowler,
Yes.
Wozniak,
Yes.
Lloyd,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Flynn,
Yes.
carried 5-0.
Thank you. The next is a resolution establishing residential and commercial rates for solid waste trash collection in the city. Again, this is something that we do every year at this time of the year per our contract with Republic Services. In the contract, we are tied to the CPI, or the Consumer Price Index, for sewer, trash, and water, which is currently sitting at 3.6%. However, after discussing it with Republic, they have agreed to stay within 3%, which is what we were trying to do for the total budget for the next year. That means an increase prior to tax of 41 cents a month to $14.01, plus applicable sales tax. Is there any discussion at all? Thank you. I'd entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All right. Councilmember Lloyd,
Yes.
Flynn,
Yes.
Wozniak,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Fowler,
Yes.
carried 5-0.
Thank you. The next is a resolution amending the 2018 city budget to recognize an additional $29,400 in selective traffic enforcement project known as STEP grant revenue for the police department and authorizing additional expenses. In your package, and you may remember during the work session when Chief addressed this, there is roughly $21,000 for payroll overtime for additional stepped-up traffic enforcement, especially for DUI, Chief. Then there's the social security tax and Medicare tax, LOP fee on top of that, which is covered. And there's also $1,000 aside for car seats. As you know, we give car seats away to families that require them. And It's been a little thin recently trying to get car seats at a reasonable price, and this will help us greatly for the young families. Are there any questions at all? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
All right. Councilmember Fowler,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Wozniak,
Yes.
Flynn,
Yes.
Lloyd,
Yes.
carried 5-0.
Thank you. The last piece of business this evening is a resolution reappointing Bob Walker and Charles Wittenberg to 3-year terms on the Board of Zoning Adjustment. Both Bob and Chuck have been on the board for quite some time. They're seasoned veterans at this, and I thank them very much for allowing their names to be reappointed for 3 years. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All right. Councilmember Lloyd,
Yes.
Flynn,
Yes.
Wozniak,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Fowler,
Yes.
carried 5-0.
Thank you. Meetings and announcements. Hopefully you've all got a pen and a piece of paper. There are a couple of dates that you'll want to write down. The first is a council budget information session. It concerns the 2019 budget and the 5-year capital improvement plan. That'll be held Wednesday, November the 7th. Wednesday, November the 7th at 5 p.m. here in the District Court building. This will be your opportunity to actually listen to how the budget is being built and also have an opportunity to see the revised 5-year plan on the capital improvement side. The next City Council work session will be Monday, November 19th at 5:30 here in the court building. And the next regular meeting of the City Council will be Monday, November 26th at 6:30, again here in the court. And the Planning Commission work session, which was planned for November the 1st, has been canceled due to lack of business. Therefore, the Planning Commission regular meeting on November 13th will in all likelihood be canceled as well. And the Board of Zoning Adjustments will meet on November 20th at 5:30 here in the Bella Vista Court building. Thank you very much for coming out this evening. I know that everybody will be hanging around a bit if you have any questions, and I hope to see you next month. Good night. We are adjourned.